Today on the podcast, we're talking about websites. Should you have your own website, and is it still relevant in today's day and age with Facebook, Instagram, and social media? We're going to talk about that today. See you on the inside. What's going on, everybody? This is Mike with the Songwriter's Planner. Thanks for swinging by this podcast episode. Really appreciate you guys checking it out. If this is your first time here, thanks for swinging by. As I said, I appreciate you listening to the podcast. It's been great getting these started for everybody. I'm over 10 episodes now, and that's pretty much amazing to me. I didn't really even think I'd make 5. But it's been great. I've had the opportunity to interview some really amazing people, some amazing guests. Thanks to all those people that have been on the show. I've had a chance to talk about some really cool issues that I think are really important to musicians. And that's what's great about this podcast, is it gives me an opportunity to connect with you guys and share some information with you, as well as get your comments back to me about what you think of the podcast. And that is really the most important thing about doing these, is hearing from you guys on what you think and what your thoughts are on these issues that we talk about. No issue is off limits, and I would definitely invite you out there to give me feedback. That's the best way to make sure that I'm giving you guys some valuable information, and that you're hearing what you want to hear, and that we all get our concerns, comments, and everything's addressed. So again, thanks again, everybody. So today, talking about things that are important to artists. This is an issue or a subject that I've had on my mind for a while now, and I've kind of been going back and forth about it, talking about artist websites today, band websites, .com sites, your own website, www.yourbandname.com or yourartistname.com. Are they still relevant today? And the reason why I'm asking that question, or I'm putting it out there in this podcast, is because in a world with Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and Bandcamp and ReverbNation.com, these are all music-oriented sites. Is it even worth putting in the time and the energy to build your own website that you are in charge of and that you control? As an artist, there's a lot of things that get put on our plate. And we're not even talking about playing music here. We're talking about booking gigs, promoting, making flyers, sending out email or newsletters. There's a lot of things that swirl around that we're in charge of now. We are in charge of doing those things. And one of those things on the list is a website. Is it even worth us investing the money or the time to put up our own website when we have all these other outlets out there that we can just kind of set our band page up and our artist page up? And I see that a lot on social media, on like my Facebook page, artists asking the question, well, I don't even need a band page or a website because I have all this other stuff. That is true. And I think that this issue should be addressed a little bit more and looked into more for artists, so we can address and answer questions about why it is so important. For me personally, I believe that having a band website is very important. And I think I got a fly flying around in here, in the room. Sorry if you guys are on podcasts and you're hearing me. So yeah, I think that having a band website is super important. I've always been of that mindset. I've always felt that having a place on the internet that you call your own, that you are in control of, is super important. And yes, it does take some time and it does take effort to set it up, especially if you really want a fancy website. I mean, now you're talking some serious dough and some serious time, unless you know how to do it yourself. That's even better. I've always built websites myself because I'm kind of a stickler about that. I've been fortunate enough to get the skills to do that, but not everybody's going to have the ability to create their own website like that, and that's totally okay. So looking at this task of, gosh, do I need to put up my own website? Is it worth it? I would say it is completely worth it to have your own site, a place where you can call home. And I'm going to go over some reasons why I think that's important And you can take this advice and say, no, I don't need it. I don't have the time or the money. That's completely fine. But I hope that you do digest some of these reasons and think about how you having your own website, the only thing that that's doing is helping you as an artist. It's certainly not hindering you. It's helping you. Unless it's just, you don't keep it updated, or it's a really, really crappy website, then it might be hurting you. But most chances, you having your own website as an artist or band is going to help you with getting your music heard and getting you discovered as an artist. Okay, guys, so stick with me on this. And again, if you have any questions or comments, just hit me up on Facebook or send me an email. Let me know what you think, okay? Let's talk about the first reason. The first reason why having your own website is super crucial, okay, is because you own it. And I literally mean you own the platform. Okay, now you may not own the hosting company that hosts your website. Now that's you don't need to host a hosting company, but you will own the ability to go into your site, make changes to it, whether they be aesthetically or whether they be updating your blog or your latest shows. You have complete control over that. There is nobody that's going to say, hey, you're violating our policies by updating this show here, or you're putting this flyer on there and it's violating our policy. There's no rules around what you can put on your website. And that's a huge difference between posting things on, say, Facebook and posting things on your own website. You just have complete control of everything. And if you really want to make sure that you can express your art and your creativity in the way that you want to, that freedom of having your own platform is really, really important, okay? Posting your flyers as often as you want, posting a SoundCloud link on there. You can't do that on Facebook. Well, I mean, you can, but you can't do it in the way that would be most effective. Okay, YouTube video. You can embed a YouTube video on your website. You can't embed YouTube videos on Facebook. You can post a link to them and they show an image, but you literally have to click on that link and go to YouTube. On your own website, you can post videos, post blogs, post music, obviously the most important thing. You just have all this freedom. And not only that, but you have creative control over what your website will look like. That is super important as well. You're not tied down to a cookie cutter type page like a lot of social media sites have. You get one page and everything looks the same except for maybe your header image. With your own website, you control the fonts, you control the color scheme, you control the functionality, you control the menu items. I mean, it's everything. And again, this goes back to being a creative artist. If you want your vision to come across to the audience the way that you want, then you have to have control of all these things, because it's going to give the user the idea. Say your album is a black death metal album. Well, your website's probably going to be black, right? But that's probably a really cheap, lame example. But the idea is that you control the creative look and feel of your website, and that's super important when you're an artist, getting your music heard and getting not just your music but your identity seen, I guess is a good way to put it. And that is super important, and that's why it's on the list. You have complete creative control. You own everything. Okay, that's one reason. Another reason is because if you have your media and your pictures and your photos and your videos and everything on Facebook, okay, let's not forget what Facebook is. Facebook is a privately owned company with their own regulations and their own contractual agreements and everything like that. When you have an account with them, they have the ability to change just about anything they want, and you really don't have any say in that. And a good example of that is back in 2012, Facebook changed its policies for pages or business pages and artist pages and not personal pages, but business type pages, to where the amount of people, when they liked your page, now this is pre-2012, they were pretty much going to see anything you posted. There was no question. Well, Facebook instituted this policy and they changed that overnight practically. And your reach as a business page or an artist page went from 100%, or at least close to 100% of the people that saw your post, down to literally like 5%. And that's because they can do that because it's Facebook and they own it. And there's nothing you can do about it. Okay? That kind of control, when all you have is social media sites that represent you, you're prone to whatever decisions they decide to make. And, it's not a really good place to be in if if you have all your eggs in that basket, because you don't have control. And again, with your own website, you do have control. Now, you may not have all the traffic and everything that big sites like Facebook have, but you still have a place to call your own, and you can advertise it and run ads to it from these social sites, okay? That's a really big one. Private industry companies, man, they can pretty much change the policy. So having your own website, super important. Okay. Having your own website, another reason why it's really important is because you can sign up, get people to sign up for your newsletter off your website. And that is super important. If you don't have a newsletter yet, please work on getting one set up and having it plugged into your website. Because yes, email is still valid today, and you can still contact people via email if you do it right and you do it respectfully. It's super valuable to have someone's email address, because if they give you your email address, you have direct communication with them, and it's free. You don't have to pay to contact anybody on your email list. Okay, doing email newsletters effectively and thoughtfully is super important. To keep your fans happy about them giving you their email address, because it's kind of personal, right? Giving out your email address, you just don't give that to anybody. So a lot of people still view email as very personal, and it is still very effective today. Email is used in digital marketing over and over and over again. I'm sure that you receive emails from sites that you've signed up on. It's still very relevant, okay? And having a website where you allow people to sign up their email address, that's the jump off, right? That's the jump off spot. That's where they're going to go to enter their email address. It doesn't feel comfortable to someone if you say, hey, sign up for our email address, and then you send them somewhere else, right? And it doesn't even look like your band page. It's just this third party page, which you can set up, but having it on your own website is complete validity. It makes the user feel like, okay, I'm in the right place. I'm signing up my email address for this awesome artist that I really dig, and it's the ultimate conduit to gathering email addresses from your fans. So think about that. That's another reason why you should consider having a website. It's a really important issue. Okay. Another reason why websites are so crucial in this day and age is because you want to be able to track how many people are actually tuning into you online. Like, how many people are actually going to look who I am online. I think artists, and I'm like this, and everybody's like this. We say, oh yeah, here's my Facebook page, here's my posting, here's my website. It's up there. Yeah, go check it out. I got all my stuff on there. And you just, in your mind, you just tell yourself, oh yeah, they're going to my website. They're going to check it out. I probably get like 100 hits a day of people going to my website. You just assume that that's what's happening. And I've made that mistake. A lot of artists I know just assume that they have more traffic than they really do. But the reality is you probably do not have the kind of traffic that you think you do. The internet is a vast, vast galaxy of information, and your website is and my website and everybody's website is just a speck of dust in the internet cafe or internet galaxy, okay? And you probably are not getting the kind of traffic. So what that means is what you can do is put information on your website that will track visitors. Google Analytics, let's start with that, okay? I don't know if you've ever heard of Google Analytics, but it's a way to track the amount of people who are visiting your website and the actual pages they are going to. It shows you which page they're checking out, how many times it's checked out, how many sessions have visited your website. Sessions is just technical talk for a person coming to visit your website, or someone who's clicked on a link and it opened up your page. It's really valuable to know how much traffic you're actually getting and how many people are actually coming to your website. Some things you may not want to know. Like I was saying, you may think you're getting a certain amount of traffic, but you might not be. But it's better to know either way how many people are visiting my website every day. What pages are they going to? What's the content that they're the most interested in? Are they looking at my videos? Are they looking at my videos? Are they listening to my music? Are they going to my bio page? Are they even interested in who I am? Are they checking out my shows page? Do they want to know where I'm playing next? These are all things you can find out with your own website plugged into, say, Google Analytics. And Google Analytics is probably the number one plug that you can use for your website. It's completely free. You don't pay for anything. And all you need is a little bit of code copied onto your website. Whoever built your website, or if you built it, can do it for you. It's really, really simple. And you are instantly plugged in to the kind of traffic you're receiving as an artist. Again, it's easy to just assume that people are visiting your website. With Google Analytics and things like that, it will become completely clear to you what's going on and how many people are actually checking you out. And that's valuable information to know. And you can only do that really on your own website with the complete freedom. Okay, so that's another reason, Google Analytics. Another reason for having your own website, you can use Facebook and your website in conjunction with each other when it comes to marketing and advertising. Okay, what that means is if you put what's called a Facebook pixel on your website, which is similar to like a Google Analytics piece of code, onto your website, now Facebook knows who's visiting your website. Okay, I know it sounds creepy. And to some it might be. But if you have information going back and forth between Facebook and your website, what happens now is you can run advertisements, you can run marketing against the people who have visited your website on Facebook. Okay, so say I am a fan of band X, right? So I go to band X's website. Well, behind the scenes, there's a small pixel, and a pixel is nothing more than just like a little token that gets put on my browser. It's completely harmless. Okay, and now Facebook knows that I went to this website, and the people who run this Facebook page, this band, know that I went to their website. So what they can do is when I'm on Facebook, they can run their latest ads to me about their next show or their new album that's coming out. Okay, those ads run on Facebook because it knows that I visited their website. Not only that, but it knows what pages I went to. So you can actually determine that there were people that went to this video page, or my bio page, and you can actually target people here. Now you don't, and it sounds scary, but you don't get names and phone numbers and stuff like that, but you get a number of people. You get an audience of people is what they call it on Facebook. So Facebook knows behind the scenes who you are and who everybody is, but the band or the artist will not know. They'll just know that a certain amount of people have visited the website, and now I can target ads to them. Okay, and that's really, really powerful when you're talking about Facebook advertising and advertising your band for your next show, your next album, whatever it is. You got merch, you can run ads on that. And that way you're running ads to people who specifically are interested in you. And you can only get that social synergy. How about that? Social synergy happening if you have your own website connected to Facebook. Okay, that's the only way that really happens. So this type of stuff has only been going on for the past, say, 5-6 years maybe. That may sound like a long time, but it's actually really, really new. And if you don't have that set up yet, definitely look into hooking up your Facebook pixel. Google that. Facebook pixel and your website. It's super easy, and it is very, very powerful. I use it for the Songwriter's Planner, and I also use it for my creative projects as well, and it works wonders. That way you're targeting the people who want to see you and are interested in your music and your content. Otherwise, when you run ads on Facebook, you could be targeting people who don't care about what you do. And there are a lot of people that don't care about what you do, unfortunately, but you'd be wasting money running ads to people who are irrelevant. Okay? And that's where it's really important, because now you're spending money and it's going nowhere to nothing. And you don't want to do that because we're artists, right? We're band guys and we don't have that much money, right? Yeah, I get that. So those are a bunch of reasons why you should have your own website. Now, there's many, many more talking about what you should have on your website. I just want to go run through that. What should you have on your website? Obviously, you should have a great looking homepage, band logo, artist logo. You got to have all that. Your music, obviously, you should have. If you have albums out, you should have streamable versions of your albums. And here's what I want to say is you should consider putting your full streamed album online. I know that's painful to hear for some people because they don't want to give their music away for free. You're not giving it away for free, but you're allowing, the more you give to people who are slightly interested in you, the more you can give them, the better chances you're going to have of making a new fan. And you may not be making money off of them right there. They may not buy an album, but maybe they'll give you their email address. And then at that point, you can market to them via email, okay? The more you give to the potential fan, the better chances you're going to have of capturing them. Okay, so we talked about the music. You want to have a video or two, some kind of video that you have made. Either make one on your own or get one professionally made. I would say do it on your own. It doesn't have to be really fancy. I've covered videos before, and I'll probably cover how to do your own videos in future podcasts. But definitely have some kind of video. In this day and age, it's almost impossible not to have one, okay? So music, bio, video, contact page. You want to have a way for some people to contact you and get in touch with you, say they love you, or someone's trying to book you for a gig. Super important, okay? Contact information, pretty standard. You want to have updated photos of you that are at least taken within the past year. There's nothing weirder than looking at band photos or artist photos of like 5 years ago, or really, really old photos, and then you see them in person or you see them online on Facebook and stuff, and they just look completely different. It's just great. It's great ethic to have updated photography, and that way you're presenting nothing but a 100% original, true view of who you are. Okay, get them professionally done. You can take some really cool photos on your phone too if you want to. There ain't no shame in that game, okay? But just make sure they're updated and they're recent and they're cool, attractive, funny, stylish, whatever your vibe is as an artist. Biography, some kind of bio. You want to have a little story about who you are, what your background is, influences. Think about something like if someone were to come visit you and they don't know much about you, what 3 paragraphs would you write that explains about who you are and what you do and what your influences are? And I say 3 paragraphs because, yes, keep it short and keep it sweet, because people don't have a lot of time. You may think they do, but they don't have the same amount of time that you would think. They're not going to sit there and read your whole biography. If you, at best case scenario, they're going to skim through it. So write a 3-paragraph bio, and don't forget to put bold letters and the important things, because that's what's going to happen. But definitely have some kind of biography that says and talks about who you are and your background information. Super important. Shows. What shows do you have coming up? Of course, that's really important. If you don't have any shows up, make sure you say no shows scheduled at this time. If you do have shows, make sure you list the venue, the date, the time, the address, ticket information. Give more information than you think they're ever going to need. Okay, make it so that there are no excuses. Well, I shouldn't say that, but make it so that there are just no questions that they have to contact you and say, what venue are you at again? It doesn't say on your website. Or what time are you playing? Always try to put the time that you're playing, because it makes it easier for the people to decide, how am I going to plan my night? Oh, okay, well, so-and-so's playing at 8:30. Perfect. Then we're going to show up at 8. Just make it easier for them. Make it easier for your fans to know what's going on. Don't assume that they know, or don't take their time for granted. Okay, don't assume that they're just going to get there whenever and just wait for you. Be respectful of people's time and list it out on your show's page if you have that time. And most artists will know what time they're playing. That's just going to separate you and make you look more professional. Okay. Definitely try and put a blog up there, have some blog information, some latest news. How about what the heck's going on with me? This is what's up. Update that blog at least twice a month minimum. Put something fresh up there, because when you have a website that is fresh, got fresh content, you're posting. Google likes that. Google loves it when they get fresh content from you. Believe it or not, that Google search engine is probably one of the most powerful things on the planet, like a nuclear reactor, and it knows what websites have traffic and what websites do not have traffic. And guess what? The ones who are the websites that have been sitting there for years and nothing's happening, they go down to the bottom. And the websites that have blogging and content and meaningful stuff, posting every month, guess what? Boop, those go up to the top of the search results. So blogs are perfect for that, because they help your what's called SEO. And I know that you've probably heard that before, but SEO stands for search engine optimization. And all that means is it's fancy words for Google looks for websites that are useful and meaningful to people. And the more fresh that you keep your website, Google's going to keep an eye on that, and you'll search rankings will go up to the top. Okay, blogs are a number one tool for making sure that happens. I love blogging. I've blogged for bands, my past bands. I blog for the Songwriter's Planner, as you guys know, and it is just a great way to keep your website fresh. When you write those blogs, you can then link to those on Facebook and promote those to your fans who visited your website. How about that? Woo! I brought that around. Brought that back around. Okay. So that's kind of a rundown, guys. I just can't stress enough how important it is to have your own website, keeping it updated, making sure it's plugged into your analytical data, Google Analytics, making sure it's connected in with Facebook so you can do marketing and advertising to people who visit your website, making sure you got email connections going on there. All these things make you want to be everywhere, and your website is an anchor for all of that. Oh yeah, don't forget to put obviously links to your social sites on your website, your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter, your Bandcamp, even the sites that you have signed up for as a band. Put it all up there, okay? Just make yourself accessible to everything. You want to be everywhere all the time in front of as many people as possible. Okay, that is the name of the game, and that's what you want to have out of your own website. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna stop right here. I just wanted to do this podcast for you guys today, and just talk about how important it is for websites. I'll probably revisit this again in another podcast, because as you can see, I'm pretty passionate about it. And hopefully that it has been helpful to you and is meaningful to you as an artist, and convinced you to at least consider putting up your own website if you don't have one yet, or nurturing one that you have now. Okay, that's kind of another reason why I wanted to talk about this. So whether you fit in those two scenarios, I hope that today's podcast helped you decide a few things on where you want to go in that direction. And I really hope it's in the direction of nurturing or creating a new website for yourself. It's only going to help you out. And yeah, so that's it. All right, guys, thanks for joining me on this podcast. Again, I have a blast with these, and I really appreciate you guys tuning in. And I will see you at the next one.